Hey guys, how's it going? Muthurajah back with a new video lesson for you all. In today's lesson, we're going to be discussing triads yet again. Okay, but a little bit of a system involved though. So a lot of times we chase after chord tones as bass players because that's one of the things we are taught in order to be able to highlight chord changes. What are chord tones? If I have a C major 7, my chord tones would be C, E, G, and B. Okay, needless to say, I think it's very important to establish that foundation for starters. Okay, so if you still don't know how to play your major 7s, minor 7s, diminished 7th, minor 7 flat 5, dominant 7th, and minor major 7th, for me these 6 arpeggios make up a good building block. If you can't play them, I would really suggest you get right to it because it will ensure your longevity. And anything you do outside of your 7th chords, which includes your 9s, 11s, and 13s, it stems out from this. So if you understand one, naturally the other will make sense. Okay, so triads. I started to get heavy into triads when I started playing a lot of Bach. Because there's a lot of these triadic motions that I love from Bach. I love that sound. Now, obviously, when I play a straight ahead gig, or if I'm even coming up with bass lines, you know, because you have in reggae music, for example, those are triads. Now, triads are there everywhere, even in traditional Sri Lankan music, which I believe is called baila. You know, it's got a very triplet feel. Okay, that's just my bullshit take on that. But the idea is that triads very fundamentally outline chords. So when you have chord tones for a 7th chord, you have 4 notes. Okay, so C major 7, also, by the way, if you play anything more than 4 string, I would suggest you by default learn to play 2 octave arpeggios. Okay, so if I'm in the key of C, I have 3 notes which are my non-chord tones. That will give me a triad, D minor. Okay, now in order to make that triad work, because this doesn't sound too pleasant, we change the minor into a major. So D major would give us F sharp, Now that works. Okay, and your goal is simple. If you can, put down a drone on whatever DAW you work with, or if you have a keyboard, use a sustain pedal, play a C major 7, but you play a D major triad. Play it everywhere possible in okay, I hit a wrong note in there, a C sharp. So why didn't I put that D major in my chord? Because I'm trying to be independent of the chord in order to play this specific triad. So now let's try a different version. Let's do C minor 7. Okay, so if this is from the key of C minor, for example, which would be the 6th chord of an E flat major, my triad that I'll be left with is quite an ugly sound. Okay, ugly for a lot, because I kind of dig it though. Okay, but it's not the best sounding thing. So what I could do instead is treat it as a Dorian. Okay, that'll give me the A natural, D and F, which is D minor. Now that sounds quite pretty. So what am I going to do? Again, put a C minor 7, play D minor arpeggio. Okay, so in a similar manner, you can continue to stack up different kinds of triads. Okay, so the idea is that just because that is the sound doesn't mean you always have to go. It's not a rule. You can go in the case of a dominant 7th, I can still use the D major. Minor 7 flat 5, I'll have to use a different triad. Minor major 7, a different kind of triad. Okay, so this enables you to create small building blocks for you to create ideas off of. Earlier in the little improv I was doing, I was going back and forth between these two triads in my head, G minor and E flat minor. Okay, so when you listen to that, there's so many ways to connect the two, and then based on that I play these non-chord tone based triads. So G minor, I would play maybe F major, and then for E flat minor I would do D flat major. And you see, immediately that gives me a very different sound. Okay, so that is simple yet very effective, and it is also one of the most boring things to practice because it's so simple. Try to keep your head in the game. Try to see ahead of the game in terms of how you can actually benefit from this, as opposed to trying it for a bit, saying, oh yeah, I got this, or nah, this is not for me, and then writing it off. Give it a solid try, and by that I mean at least for a month at the very least. Okay, I hope you get something out of this. I'll see you guys in the show until the next one. Peace.